Hello everybody, this is James with the Game Won't Play Itself, and this is TGWPIS in 10. Today I am joined by Chris Hergelman.
Hello.
And Ed Pohl.
Yo.
And Chris, hit me with it.
Okay, so this one's an interesting one. Game studios and game publishers need to stop talking to each other.
Okay. I'm intrigued. Why?
So
I'm intrigued. I want to know why.
Waiting for the rest of it.
there you go. I wanted to let everyone take a moment to ruminate that. It seems that in the current era, we keep having problems whenever we have a production team talking to the development team. Our timelines keep getting shafted. Everyone's trying to judge things way too early. We keep getting games pushed back over and over and over and over again. But like, this is probably something that could be easily recognized by the development teams if they weren't being shoved around by their production teams. EA does this over and over again. Does that to all their people. We know that Sony pushes their teams to publish early. And we see things like Blizzard making its dumbass decisions. And I'm being very harsh on Blizzard because I'm very angry with them because they could be so great, but they're not. But they keep making decisions like, yes, let's make Diablo and let's advertise it as a full-blown Diablo. But it's mobile. Big mistake. Advertise it as a mobile game and make it clear. That's the publishing, right? That's the production team, not the development team. You got problems like all of their issues with their releases and everything, and their games not having any actual content anymore. You have problems with EA making things with like the Battlefront, with all of that, the cash grab problems. But you look at places like Arcane and idsoft, and their development team is just let loose, go make the thing. And the production team says it's in the pipeline. They need to stop talking to each other.
Okay. We have to discuss this.
So this is so it's basically just shut up, give me the money. So you want what basically Kojima did with Sony.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just give him the money and just don't talk to him until the game is ready.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, ask him how things are coming along, get a loose timeline, see it, like, obviously you're going to have to set release dates and whatnot, but I mean, like, stop trying to push the development team and just
let them develop.
So you're, looking at it as not a business standpoint. You're looking at it as, let us do our thing not as a business, but as human beings, as a company. Let us do our thing. But in the real world, unfortunately, we got to have our business practices. But these publishers got to make money, just plain and simple. It's got to make money. That's the way the world is. Money is a son of a bitch. The publishers are going to be up to devs' asses because they need to get those games out as soon as possible. That's why a delay is not always the best thing for a lot of publishers. Sometimes it is a good thing. But you have to look at it as these businesses are trying to estimate what their financials are going to be every year. They got to get these games out in those fiscal years and hope these games do good in order to hit those numbers for the stock, the traders and the stockholders and everything. Otherwise, you're going to tank, and tanking is not good. That sends you down a bad road.
Right. That's something that can be communicated without them trying to shove the devs. See, the problem we have is not so much. It's not so much that aspect, because that's all very clearly able to be done. Take a look at idsoft. Take a look at Arcane. ZeniMax doesn't have a problem with that.
Also,
but when you have things like Activision,
publicly held company,
right?
Fair, but when you have something like Activision trying to push Blizzard to do specific things, like yes, monetize it this way and advertise it this way, then you run into problems.
Correct, because Activision has to make money, so they're trying to push it, monetize everything. We need money. Do it this way, do it that way. So, case in point, Call of Duty last year, Black Ops 3 had loot boxes, which were doing okay, and then they initiated a battle pass. I can't remember how long into the game's life cycle. This year, Modern Warfare, they got rid of the loot boxes. They just added a battle pass that you could buy for $10.
And buy maps.
Maps are free in Modern Warfare. You do not buy maps. All maps are free. They're actually made more money with Call of Duty Modern Warfare with just a battle pass, and they have more concurrent players than they did with Black Ops 4.
Precisely. And who do you think made that decision more so?
Activision.
Do you think it was the production team or the development team?
The
development team who has to make it all. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm being very vague about this. I'm talking about specifically like the publication team, not necessarily like everything around. I'm talking about the big wigs up at the tippy top.
Yeah. No. I get it. And that's the thing is it's money. Money drives everything. That's the issue here.
Exactly, and that's the thing is the obvious point is that they keep making the stupid mistakes of trying to go money first and not product first.
Correct, but time and time again, we see these games coming out the same way with these monetizations in it, and they're not doing bad. Modern Warfare doing excellent this year. You know, what other games?
Yeah, no, that's the thing.
Listen.
Modern Warfare did excellent because they didn't do the same shit as the previous iteration that did not do excellent.
Right. But like you could look at it, you know, like Battlefront 2, they made it, you know, whoever made that decision, well, I'm sure which was EA, the publisher, made that decision to make it a pay-to-win game, which was the most idiotic, stupid decision they could have ever made. And they shot themselves in the foot.
Precisely.
Granted,
so if they did make that decision, then they just let that fall down to like because I mean they have teams that talk about how they monetize things as well.
Correct.
And
they have a whole monetization department. Absolutely.
Precisely. But it's not those guys who necessarily make those end decisions. It's the big people above them that they have to be
they come in, you know, that team goes in there and they're like, well,
that's the line that they need to stop talking at. They need, they need to tell the people up above, shut up, you're dumb.
Yeah, they can't. That's the issue, is they can't do that. Because those are the guys who write the checks. Those are the guys who they have to make those financials hit. Otherwise, your stock is going to freaking take a shot. You know, like those companies that are small and are not publicly traded, it's a whole different beast. You know,
well,
like
your company's going to take a shot anyways if your game doesn't sell.
You're correct. Absolutely. They're going to take a big fucking shot.
Precisely. So make games that sell.
Right. But they're going to...
It starts with making...
If only we could have that world. I mean, unfortunately, we're in the world where games come out that are just trash. I mean, I don't think Fallen Order did as good as it could have. What was the big game release this year that just fell flat besides Anthem? Or was that Anthem was last year? I guess
it's 2020, so we're not quite this year, yeah.
No, we're 2019.
No, that's what I'm saying, is that like the companies have stopped being game first and they've started being money sell first.
Yeah.
And because that's where they're falling flat. That's the obvious thing, is where they're falling flat. Because it's much easier to take a product, look at the product, evaluate its worth, and figure out how to monetize it after it's already in a certain stage.
Yep. Look at like the one thing we have to blame here for that, and I know it's not, you know, let's play the blame game, let's something else, but mobile games. The monetization they added into mobile games have turned video games into this monster.
I agree there.
Which has
that's a different hot take. We can talk about that later.
Yeah, right. Which has turned AAA games into a greedy monster. You can't just make a game now. Now we have to be like, okay, well, let's sell you this Harley Quinn skin for $10, like Fortnite just came out with. Let's sell you this for this price. Like they can't just let a game be anymore.
So
like those memes you see everywhere with the hamburger. Oh, this was a game 20 years ago. Here's the game now. Your bun, your burger, And then they're like, well, if you want all this other stuff, your lettuce, mayonnaise, ketchup, and all that is the DLC. Everybody's seen this meme. Like, I hate it. I hate it that I buy games that are incomplete.
So
that they're going
essentially,
to sell me complete pieces of the game later on.
what we have here is that we don't have a consensus. Is that we what we want is not what we're going to get. And I'm only saying this because guess what? We're at just about 10 minutes, guys.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess what we can say is, if you're listening to this, comment, let us know. Tell us what you think.
Mm-hmm.
God, we're going to get other people involved in this. This is strange. So
it's because it's a very good. Chris asked a question.
I told you I had a hot take.
Listen, you asked a question that does not have an answer, along with you asked a question that is so vague you can put in 100 different topics and answers into this question because it's so big. It's bigger than all of us. But the main,
which is why we need all of us to tell us about it.
exactly
right. Yes, but the main root of this problem, and we all can agree, is money.
Yes.
Yep.
And until that problem gets solved, which it never will, you will never get that problem solved. You can't solve it. You will always have.
You can circumvent it, but that's another take.
Exactly.
right. Yeah, you can. Yeah, right.
All right.
But
gavel time. I'm hammering it. I gotta end it.
Damn it!
I gotta end
sit
it.
here and talk about this shit for another freaking half hour.
That's why this is 10 minutes.
Yep.
This is why it's 10.
Screw your 10 minutes. I'm going to make a podcast with 20-minute hot takes.
There you go. I dare you to do it. Anyways, this has been Take Movies to 10. I've been James. He's been Hergelman, and he's also been Ed. And
beer.
I have been both of us.
I have been everybody.
We have been
and
me.
Nobody. I have moderated this. That's what I've done.
James sat there and listened and was like, what the fuck's going on here?
Have a good one, everybody. Bye.